Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I don't know in which time zone you're watching this, but welcome to Let's Humanize the Workplace. My name is 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗃𝗀, the workplace wellness advocate, and I'm also a nerd. And I have something exciting to share. But first of all, let me know if you can hear me correctly, and also let me know where you're watching this from. Why? Because I'm really curious about where you're watching, where you are in the world, because it's LinkedIn, it's global, and this the workplace. So, I forgot to share my screen. I forgot to share myself, right? So my name is 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗃𝗀. This is the first, there's a first thing for everything, right? So welcome to this presentation of Spice Up Your Career, right? And why am I doing this? Why is it so important to spice up a career? Well, I'm going to show the next slide. I'm going to show a few slides. So just to let you know, our guest is already waiting, but I have to introduce her later on. So just wait a minute so that I can introduce her. So can you share where you're from? Because I'm really curious about where in the world you're from, where you're watching this from, and also if you are live or are you team replay? Hashtag team live or hashtag team replay. So for those of you who are watching the replay, note that I will be still watching the comments. Sascha will be still watching the comments. So just to let you know that you can still watch the replay later on. I don't want to disturb you during your work week, but this episode or this broadcast is so important because there are so many topics that is related to your career, right? So it's very important to address those topics to their career. So today, what am I going to do? First of all, sharing is caring. If you feel or know somebody who can definitely, I'm lost for words. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous and a bit a bit overexcited, but if you feel like this information can help somebody else or can inspire somebody else, share it. If you feel like you need to clap for us, then clap or share the love or do something engaging so that we know that we're doing it for you, but also to inspire other people, right? So please share the love. I've been asked why let's humanize the workplace, and I want to make a connection regarding to the World Health Organization, because there are a few topics that are very important for us to relate, and that is well-being. We have to create sustainable employees. We have to do our best to be sustainable as we can, because we have a long lifespan now, and also we want the work to be engaging. We want organizations to be engaging. We want colleagues to be engaging, and we don't want to be deprived from that engagement, especially now that you read a lot of things about stress, about workplace wellness, about burnout, and I want to do my best, use this platform by taking care of the well-being part, but also taking care of you and your organization or your employees, your people, or you as an individual, right? I feel like if I had known these tools that I know now, I would definitely, be in a different state or in a different area or maybe in a different field. But then again, I'm happy at where I am now because I have the opportunity to share this with you, to share the goodies with you. So what is career well-being? So today's topic is about spicing up your career. Career well-being is about meaningful work, is about achieving your goals, but also asking yourself the question, am I doing something that is inspiring me, is inspiring others? Is my work an energy gainer? or is it an energy drainer? That's those two questions. You have to ask yourself those two questions. And also for the organization, it's important that if you have an employee working for you for 5 years in the same position, how can you make that work? How can you help the employee to stay by making the work more fun, but also making the work more dynamic, more creative, more where they can put their creativity in it, right? Because that's also important, especially nowadays that 85% of the employees globally are disengaged. And the last thing that you want is to have an employee who is disengaged, who is disengaging with your client, which can also reflect to your brand. So with no further ado, I want to introduce you to Sascha. And Sascha is a career strategist, a coach as well. She has a passion and a drive to enable people to bridge the gap between where they are and where they need to be. Sascha believes that people can change and continuously learn if they are supported on their learning journey. Welcome, Sascha. Woo!
Hi, Vivian. So good to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Definitely, definitely. So my next question will be, why do people need a career strategist?
Well, I think that creating
I can't hear you. Oh, sorry.
You can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Sorry.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
I can.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I think it's important to strategize your career. Too many people, I've done it myself, go into this it's not intentional. It's you just follow the breadcrumbs in your career and you don't stop and think, is this something I truly love? Is this something I truly want to do? And in my experience and in my career, I did the same thing. So I started on a journey that was not right for me. And at some point in that journey, I decided to look at what I was doing and change it. So I went from a marketing degree into a full-blown teaching degree where I started teaching children. And when I moved to Amsterdam about 5 years ago, I built a business where I tried to combine everything I'd done in my career that was not intentional, that was not, that has just been what I thought I wanted at that moment. And I decided to create a strategy on how to thrive in my own business and do what I wanted to do. So I think people need a career strategist because you can work with someone to look back on what you've done and then have that person help you strategize how to move forward and combine all the skills and everything that you encompasses and all the competencies that you have.
Mm-hmm. Then I also have to ask this additional question because maybe some people of HR, managers or leaders are watching like, okay, why should I bring on a career strategist? Because that will make their people leave, right? Am I right or wrong?
No, I don't think it will make the people leave. I think the minute you stop looking at your people as a commodity and see them as a human being.
Oh, sorry.
That has talents, experiences, skills. Start treating them as an adult that knows what they're doing and putting trust in them, that listening to their dreams and what they want for their future, they can try to make that become integrated in the workplace. I don't think people leave a job if they're satisfied, let me say that way, and if they can do what they feel like they want to do with their career.
Mm-hmm. True. I forgot to start the timer, so I edited it. But okay, next question. That's for me, right? That's your question that you have for me, Sherry.
Oh, I didn't hear it. You wanted me to ask if I had a question for you. I'm sorry about that. I do have a question. Yeah, what is your greatest achievement?
No, this is the question that you have for me. Yes.
Yeah, so
my greatest achievement is, and I have to pull up something. And that has to do with this person.
Oh, cute.
My son Orlando. He's at the moment he is 6 years old, but I tend to share a lot about him because without him, I wouldn't have been where I am now. And starting a journey in the financial, in the IT sector, and I became a mom in 2013. And at that time, I wasn't happy in the workplace. I wasn't happy in the job that I was having, and also being pregnant. I'm not saying that all companies do that, but being pregnant, becoming the first woman to be pregnant in a male-dominated work sector, that's experience, it wasn't positively perceived. So when I was like maybe 6 months pregnant, I was really thinking about my future, but also about what can I do to change the perspective. Fast here, 4 months old, Orlando is looking at me, and I realize I am a role model. And as a role model, it doesn't help to come to the workplace or come to at home stressed, because I'm passing that towards him. And once I realized that, I knew I had to leave the work. I knew I had to leave that job to become a better me, to become a better Vivian, but also become a better mother to him and a partner and a friend, etc., because I have so many hats on. But Orlando is my reason why.
Well, that's a great achievement. Unfortunately,
Yes.
I'm not one of those women that could have children. So I had to replace that with other things. And one of the things that came out of not being able to have a child was that I was able to have a business and put my heart and soul into it. So the world is round and everything is good, you know?
I see that. Yes, I see that. I see that you put a lot of work and effort and love in what you do. And the next questions, why is it essential for employees to work on their personal branding?
Well, for me, that means that when you work on your personal brand, you have something that is going with you it's like a transferable skill, actually, I think. Your personal brand, employees today, they don't stay in the workplace for 30 years or 15 years as they did a few, like in my parents' generation or in some of my peers' generation. Yeah. You don't stay for 15 years in the same industry, and it's becoming more and more sought after to have entrepreneurial mindsets working within companies, and I think they're even calling it entrepreneurs. So when you are working within a company and you want to advance in your career within the company, you need to reach out across teams, across organizations, and start building your brand as someone. Let's say you want to be known for being helpful and always having a creative solution. So you want to identify what it is you want to be known for, and build your brand that way. So this is very simply put, but making sure that you have a brand that sells you. It also helps you to get new jobs, because by having a strong personal brand, recruiters, new companies, co-workers, people that want to buy your service, they know what they're getting. So that's why I find it's very important. And that's why I work with my clients on personal branding, because I feel like, or they feel like, they want to create a brand that pulls opportunities to them instead of them having to push themselves on opportunities. Yeah.
And also, I just wanted to add, because I hear a lot of people talking about, especially employees talking about, why do I need a personal brand? Because I'm not a salesperson, right? And
well, you are.
I am just sharing, like, everybody needs a personal brand, because people buy from people. And without you, even though you're not working in sales, that person will remember you where you are representing that company, where you are working on a specific goal towards the company. So if you are an employer or if you are an entrepreneur or whatever, everybody needs to work on their personal brand. Even when you don't think that you have a personal brand, you do, because you're representing somebody or a company or something.
Well,
yeah,
if you
definitely.
don't take take action on it and start intentionally plan out what it is that you want for your career, what you want for on a personal level, but also on a professional level. If you don't take control of that, then your brand will create itself, and then that's what you're going to be known for, and that is where you get on the mill, and everything's just rolling away, and you don't stop to think, do I really want it to go this way? And a personal brand, yes, I agree with you 100%. You are selling yourself, and regardless whether or not you are working as an employee or you're an entrepreneur or you are a freelancer, whatever it is you have a set of skills, and those skills are what you are exchanging for a salary. So it doesn't matter if you are an employee or an entrepreneur, you are selling a service, and that's why people are hiring you. And the stronger your personal brand is, the better the opportunities you're going to be getting.
Definitely. I also have to watch the on LinkedIn. I can see the LinkedIn comments, but I cannot pull them in this tool, so I have to read them out. Hi, Danique, thank you. And Danique is saying, Sascha, I resonate so much with your message. Oh, Orlando is a cutie. Thank you, Danique. Thank you. And
that's so
I also want to say to Raluku, if you're watching, or if you have any thoughts to share, however point to time, so that you know that you are included. So I'll continue with the interview. Sascha, you are.
Okay, so I actually would like to understand what prompted you to design or to come up with ideas of these video series, because first of all, I find them very inspirational. I like sharing the message. I like talking and learning, and I was very honored that you asked me. But what made you want to do this?
I receive a lot of private messages, what happens in the workplace, but also things that weren't really positive, negative. And I wanted to address that in a healthy way, with being respectful, but also addressing something that is happening at the now. And I have a platform. I'm lucky enough to be one of the first, one of the few that has LinkedIn, right, or has LinkedIn Live. And like I said, I'm an advocate, and I want to advocate for thriving workplace. And that means that I can share positive news, but also means that I can share, not so positive news to make the world a better place. Because again, I made a commitment to my son, Orlando. I want to make the world a better place by starting from the workplace. And that is my goal. And that's going to be my goal. But why not bring others along? Because I see so many wonderful people on LinkedIn sharing powerful messages, and I want to amplify that as well.
That's a good one. I actually agree with you on that as well. I think that we have so many we're working so much of our time, and I feel it's so important that we start being more, and I'm saying it again, intentional about where we work and what we work with and who we are surrounding ourselves with, because ultimately we surround ourselves with negativity. That's what we're going to attract. I have this quote that I usually say, is that what you focus on grows bigger, so wisely choose your focus. Why not focus on something great and positive and inspiring and motivating, and because then that's what you're going to attract. And I think a lot of time is that people forget to do that, to change their mindset and change their inner dialogue, and it is negative most of the time.
Not only forget that, but also people are unaware what it attracts. I believe in the law of attraction. So what you're saying really vibrates into my system, because all that gossiping, I stopped it a few years ago. I still, there's still some gossiping here and there, but I tend to retract myself, and also tend to, why am I doing this? Why am I participating in bringing others down? Because it's not helpful for me. It's not helpful for that person. And I believe in being respectful at the workplace. I believe in being empowering at the workplace, and gossiping is not of that. And also regarding bullying, there is a topic there. I'm going to do a broadcast on bullying, but it happens too much. And people reach out to me regarding bullying or regarding other things that they are seeing at the workplace, which can, be better, which the workplace can change. And again, we live in a digital era where social media has a power. Your people have a voice, even though they're not Oprah, even though they're not. They are not, I'm not going to say somebody, I have somebody in mind, but I'm not going to say that person. Even though they are not a president, let's keep it like that, they still have a voice. And if they find a way to amplify that voice, it can positively affect your brand, your company, or it can negatively affect the company.
Well, it can. And I think it's a lot of this has to do with when you talk about bullying and you talk about what's going on in the media right now, everything that you hear and see is fear-based. So, and the same thing happens in the workplace. There will be competitors, there will be politics, there will be a bad toxic culture, there will be bullying, but it all comes from a place of fear and allowance, like that it's allowed to do that. And when people start getting afraid that they're going to lose the promotion, or they're going to be overlooked for a project, or they're not going to get what they initially want, then that's when that negativity can start. And that's where you have to pull yourself away. At least that's what I would do. I would try to pull myself away and say, I'm not going to engage in that, because if I engage in this, I'm no better than the person initiating it. So I agree with you on that one.
True. On to the interview. Can you share 3 tips for those who are feeling lost in their career?
Oh, yeah, I can. Well, it's a little bigger than 3 tips, because often we have to identify what is that's happening in them that they feel lost. But I would definitely look back and see what is it I'm doing? How am I feeling right now? What is it I'm doing with my life? Is this something that makes me happy, or what is the why behind what I'm doing? That's one thing I would definitely give as a tip. Do some inner work, some clarity work, finding out what your mindset is like. What are you open to new opportunities, or do you use the phrase "I can't" a lot instead of "I can" a lot? Because it's very important to understand how you think and what you think. So draw awareness to your inner dialogue, so you can change it. And you can't, it's there. So start being aware of your inner dialogue. That's tip number 2. And number 3, hire a coach. That would be a good one. Hire a coach, seek help, find a mentor, talk to someone. It doesn't have to be someone you pay for. You can do informational interviewing to figure out what else is out there, and explore those avenues.
Definitely. I totally agree with you on that one. That's for you. Yeah,
I was just looking at your at the people that
I can go through that. No, I can go through the comments. So I can see Raluku, thank you. There are so many nice comments. No many people watching, right, at the moment. So yeah, you shared what's the one thing that I find most important to work on?
Exactly.
Regarding bringing wellness and engagement to the workplace.
Exactly. I just wanted to say to 𝗪𝗪𝗲𝗃, though, thank you so much. She wrote that she loved watching us and she thinks it's inspiring. So thank you for that. So yeah, what one thing will you?
Yes, thank you.
What one thing do you find most important to work on to bring wellness and engagement into the workplace?
Are you asking me on a personal level, or are you asking me in regards to the people that I work with? Because there are so many layers in this question.
There are many layers in this question. So I'm going to ask you, what layer do you want to address first?
I can address both. I can address on a personal level. I feel like it's important to raise awareness regarding well-being and what people can do in the workplace. There's something that I have to share because during my pregnancy, I almost became diabetic. I almost had pregnancy diabetes. And one of the things that I'm trying not to cry, but what I was really shocked about was me becoming diabetic. I knew that my grandmother died from it, and I didn't realize how it could affect me, and not only me, my son as well. So it's so important to raise well-being, to raise awareness regarding well-being, because where about your well-being at school, at home? Are you going to learn how to deal with stress? Are you going to learn how to deal maybe workplace bullying, or how to become happy? I mean, I believe that some of it has to come from home, some of it has to come from school, but some of it also has to come from the organization, right? Because when you start your career at 20, like I started, and when you are supposed to end your career by 65, you're spending most of your life, your work life, your life at the workplace. Why not, provide your employees with the toolkits so that they can become sustainable, so that they can enjoy their work, but they can become your advocates, your ambassadors.
Well, I think you're right about that. But I also think there's something else to it. When you provide your employees with that toolkit, start looking at them as human being, not just numbers on the spreadsheet or a commodity that needs to be just working. You get more engagement out of them and more health. They are more happy if you support them on their journey. So,
amen.
It's kind of like a plant, if you don't water it, it will wither and die. And it's the same with human beings. If they don't, we crave connection, and we want to be connected to people at work, but also privately. But work is such an important thing in our lives that we need to have connection at work. And if we're not seen or heard, we'll wither and die. Maybe not wither and die, but we will burn out.
Yeah.
So
or become
indifferent,
or become disengaged and affect others in that process, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Next question. Can you share 3 tips for those who are changing towards a career without no experience?
Yes, because I did that. I went from tech to teaching many years ago, and I had experience with teaching children to dance, but I didn't have the experience to go into a teaching degree. So I actually became a substitute teacher to figure out what I wanted to do in that change, and if I liked it. And then I upskilled. So upskill is one big one. So identify your skill gaps and then upskill. Be willing to try, be willing to fail, be willing to fail fast, and be willing to keep trying until you make it. When I moved to Amsterdam 5 years ago, I was hit by the like the wall that many expat experience when they come to a new country. I didn't speak the language. I couldn't get a job because I had a teaching degree teaching children, but no one looked at my 10 years in tech and media and saw that I could use teaching as a transferable skill that could go into. So it was difficult for me to get a job. So I had to reinvent myself. And I did that by looking at what I had and then looking at what I wanted in order to, and then I bridged the gap with a coaching certification and emotional intelligence certification and other kind of certifications that could strengthen me in building my own business. So yes, upskill and identify skill gap, upskill, be willing to try and fail. That is basically what I would suggest for anyone that is trying to change their careers.
I would also like to add on is everybody has experience. Even though when you're a stay-at-home mom, there are so many, so many skills that you're using at home already that you can share with others. And seeing that, on LinkedIn, there is this LinkedIn learning platform where you can, you can train your mindset or you can train your skill.
Yeah.
Go to online courses like you can go to Udemy. There are so many platforms where you can upskill your own mindset, right? So it's important to know that we live in this digital era. I grew up, I'm an 80s baby. I'm turning 40 next year, just to clarify that. And I grew up in an era where I only had books. And when the internet came, it was just like, okay, that's a whole nother thing. And I went on that bandwagons. For those who are, millennials or the Generation Z, I know that there are books out there. There are separate from the telephones. But you need to upskill yourself. Sometimes read a book. Just read a book. Or listen to an audiobook. Learn from that and upskill yourself. That's, yeah.
Exactly. But the same thing, what I would say is that you need to understand what it is you want first and what is needed, because you can upskill from here on to the end of time. But if you don't know what it is you're going for, you're just upskilling. So what I would say is identify your transferable skills. Are you a great communicator? Do you have strong leadership skills? What have you done in your previous career or in your previous jobs that has that you've done in all your jobs that you can? Are you great at organizing, creative, innovative? Do you have are you good at problem solving or pulling a team together? All those things are also skills that you need to identify, and then don't keep all in your head. Write it down so you get it out on paper so you can actually use it to plan from. So that's my tips, at least. So how do you navigate being such a multi-passionate person, Vivian?
What do you mean multi-passionate? Elaborate.
Multi-passionate is because when I look at your LinkedIn profile, you're doing so many different things. You are interested in many different things. And I myself is multi-passionate, and I feel like sometimes we are living in a world where we're inspired by so many different things, and sometimes it can be difficult to navigate those things because people want to put you in a box. You do this, Sascha, do this. You only do this one thing. I said, no, I don't. I also do this. I love sales enablement. I love teaching children. I love being empowerment for women and being inspiring. But I love the most my career design and my career strategizing and helping people with their careers. But there's so many different things. I also like to play tennis. Yeah. So that's what I mean. What do you do to navigate this?
I totally agree. And when I saw that question, I first wanted you to share, because I know that you're multi-passionate yourself. And I also wanted to share, I don't fit in a box. I'm too tough to be in a box. I'm too great to be fit in a box, right? And I like doing workplace well-being, workplace wellness. So I started out, my career started out in finance, and I worked in the IT for a while. But I knew that I am destined to become fired by Orlando, fired by what happened to my grandmother. I have a voice and I want to speak up. I sometimes do moderating, I sometimes do other things, but that doesn't mean that I dislike the other or have to choose. We have to stop letting people choose one thing.
Exactly.
I am workplace wellness. I do a podcast. I am doing this live stream. I am me. I'm just as colored like, you know, my ombre hair. I'm wearing my scarf. I that's 𝗂𝗏𝗃𝗏. I cannot be framed in just one thing.
It's funny because I had a question from a client a few months back, and she's running this podcast, and it's a really great podcast. And she was afraid to use that on her LinkedIn profile because she was afraid that people would not understand, or it would hinder her from getting a job. Where I was like, it won't. It just goes to show that you actually know how to.
It's an added value.
It's an added value, and it shows you have more skills than just doing the job you're doing. So there's actually quite a few questions for us. On the
I have to look.
Yes.
Let me see. I'm not seeing all the so I think being Danique, I think being yes, Danique. Preach on. I'm targeting Danique to become
I like
you know a guest speaker for the future. So I hope that she becomes one. And Moses, hi Vivian, hi Sascha, great job. Thanks Moses for sharing. Wow. And Shay, wow, cool. Everybody has skills. Definitely everybody has skills. Thank people, because we really appreciate you taking the time to watch this live stream. We only have 3 minutes. So 1 minute for the next question. And the last 2 minutes is just for everybody who wants to ask Sascha now something now. Please ask her now, because the broadcast will end within 2.47 seconds.
Oh, perfect. You're under stress now.
Okay.
Working under pressure.
I need to show. Yes. Yes, I'm under stress. What would you like to be known for?
Yeah, so you want me to tell you what I would like to be known for? I would like I would like to be known for being an inspiration, empowering, being afraid but still taking the leap, and having faith that I can do whatever I set my mind to. I also want to be known for helping people gain clarity and confidence in their careers, and I'm working my bum off to actually make that happen. So so that's what I would like to be known for. So 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏 has actually said she has a question she would like answered, and I think it's the one about the male-dominated. She wrote one about the male-dominated workplace for you. Here. I have to find it.
Okay. She said, I have the same struggle to constantly fit in a box. Is that the one? I love Vivian Aqua's answer. To have to be authentic self.
Yes.
Are we going over time? Just 2 minutes? 2 minutes. I'm going to pause it. Just 2 minutes over time.
So there was also a question by someone that wanted to know about the male-dominated industry. Can you see that question?
𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏. Yeah, it's her. So I'm going to read it. So she mentioned this is for those who. I hope that the LinkedIn people are watching this broadcast, because we need the comments in here in this tool, because it's too much. But I'm going to read it. Vivian Aqua, you mentioned the male-dominated IT work environment. I've been working in IT for 20 years, and I see significant progress, but we need to do better. My dilemma is, how can we make the environment more inclusive, especially as women? Her solution is add more playfulness in the work environment, but I'm curious about what you both feel could make a difference and make it more inclusive for women, no matter if they are single or if they are mothers or if they are not single, whatever? Yes.
I have an answer for that. Use your voice, speak up, and stop being afraid to be judged by other people. Stop being afraid that your voice is not going to be heard or you don't matter, because whatever that comes to you is meant for you to express. So definitely stop being afraid. That's my take on it.
I'm also going to say my tip, I support your tip, but I'm also going to say something that sometimes women or men are working in an environment where they can't speak up because they are the only one speaking up, right? And not everybody is as vocal as we are. Not everybody has that in them to speak up. So I would say find allies in the workplace, and if not, find allies outside of the workplace where you can at least share your thoughts, have that conversation with other people, so you don't feel like you're the only one who's doing that. So I'm going to start the timer again.
That's true. I agree with that a lot.
Yeah. So in our last 1 minute, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to share whatever you want to share.
Me? Just like that?
Yeah, you. 30 seconds.
Well, if anyone wants to connect with me on LinkedIn to have more discussions around career strategies, career design, around female empowerment, then feel free to connect with me. I would love to get to know you and to have a conversation around all this so we can use our voices the way we were meant to use them. And then I just wanted to thank you for... Yeah.
You're going over time, but I do want to say thank you, Sascha, and also not only for connecting with Career Coach. Sascha is an amazing woman. That one is an amazing... No. Where should I don't know where to direct because I'm seeing myself. Anyway, Sascha, connect with her. Connect with me if you want to know more about humanizing the workplace, because it is important to do that. Thank you, and till next time.
Bye.
Bye.